to.
Glenn, I am so happy to be here in your presence.
Well, it doesn't sound like you're panicking enough, and I need you to panic just a little bit.
Okay.
I need you to be. We brought Jason in. Jason's been with me this week. We've been working on all kinds of doomsday things. You know, I mean, the world is coming apart. Wouldn't you say, Jason?
Oh, everywhere. The sky is falling. It's insane.
I don't know if you heard this, Stu, but one of America's doomsday planes made a flight to Andrews Air Force Base last night. Left at 6 o'clock, landed in Maryland at 10. Now, in case you don't know what this is, this is to protect the Secretary of Defense and other national security officials to keep the government operating in the time of a nuclear war. And it was spotted last night by flight trackers and made a very long, winding route to the Capitol. And it's sitting there, right there, ready to go. The doomsday plane. Now, in case you don't know, here's what was really suspicious. Apparently, it usually uses the call sign of Order 6. This is Order 6, okay, like Air Force One, Order 6. No. What was really disturbing to flight watchers was it was using the unusual call sign of Order 01. You see what they're saying there, okay?
No, what are they?
Well, okay, I don't either. But it's got to be something nefarious that we should panic about. Now, this is a fleet of 4 E-4Bs, and yes, they make regular flights around the country all year long just to maintain readiness. But this also serves as an airborne command center for the President and Secretary of Defense and Joint Chiefs of Staff in case there is a bomb in Washington, D.C. or all around the world. It can fly for up to 2 weeks without landing. I mean, it'll fall out of the sky if somebody doesn't refuel it every 12 hours, but it could stay up in the sky for up to 2 weeks. So, and it has 112 people on board, and it can withstand a nuclear blast, a cyber attack, electromagnetic effects. It can fire retaliatory missiles. It can communicate with anybody in the world at any time, so you could call down back to Earth, and you could be like, hey, and they'll be like, I'm on fire right now. I can't talk. I'm really on fire. I gotta go. But that's on the ground. Well, it was in the sky last night, but it's on the ground waiting for nuclear war. And as if that wasn't bad enough, we find out from the Wall Street Journal in a, quote, leak. Now, I want to say, quote, leak because it was in the Journal's article, in quotes, not air quotes, actual quotes, leak. According to Pentagon leaks. Okay. What did they leak? Well, they cited sources close to the president and said he has withheld the final order in an effort to give the Iranian officials a chance to accept negotiations on a peace deal. But next week, it's going to be very, very big, maybe less than a week. What they did is the Joint Chiefs came in and they said, Mr. President, we have this plan, this plan, this plan, or this plan. And he chose one. And they said, okay, so we're going in now. And he said, no, I just chose one of the plans that you presented us with. Okay, well, we're ready to go. Now, that sounds pretty ominous, like we should all panic. You put that together, and the night watch plane, and your skin is going to burn off your face at any time. Your hair will be on fire at any time. You'll be burned into the sidewalk. There'll be nothing left but a shadow of you soon. Because it's much easier to jump there than it is to say, wait a minute, doesn't the Pentagon and the Joint Chiefs come to the president with plans for possibilities of war when things start to heat up for any country I mean, don't we have plans for invasions for lots of countries? Don't we have that? And then what he does, so when it happens, the president doesn't have to have a bunch of people in the room debating. They do it when everything is calm. They come in and say, Mr. President, if this happens, we recommend this, this, or this. And then he chooses one, and then it goes into a file, and it sits in a filing cabinet for a very, very long time until it's outdated or until they have to have it. And then they pull it out of the filing cabinet and say, Mr. President, this was the plan we chose. Do we execute? Yes, execute now. Now, it sounds much worse if we will just print that there's been a leak. That what he's done is he's chosen the plan on how to destroy Iran. And the doomsday plane is in the air. This is what I would like to call panicins. This is what I would like to call the media and their propaganda. This is what I would like to call negotiation as the reality. And this is also what I would like to call the reason why nobody watches or listens to the news anymore, because everything is leading right directly to your death. Now, some things might lead directly to your death. These two things are not one of them. Now, I wanted to bring Jason in because he's our military analyst, and am I wrong?
No. You actually missed one, Glenn.
I did.
Earlier this week.
Wait, will it make people panic?
Oh, absolutely. Panic ensues.
Okay, all right.
Shortly.
Okay, good.
Nuke sniffer plane. Nuke sniffers.
Nuke sniffers.
Sounds interesting.
A plane.
Actually lifted off and flew a route. An unusual infinity sign route over the northern continental United States.
Wow.
Quoted from the article, this rarely happens.
Rarely
if you don't count multiple times every single year since they were invented, which was probably sometime during the Cold War.
But they're not flying every day.
But no, they're not flying
every day. They're not flying 24 hours a day. It's rare.
That's kind of rare.
It's rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very rare.
It's relative, I guess, how you say rare.
Yeah, okay, exactly right. If it's not up there every day, it's rare. Okay, so we have the nuke sniffer up. We have the Night Watch doomsday plane, and the president has selected his plan.
It's over. It's all over.
Why even go to work? In fact, let me just say, hey, good night, everybody. Just in case it's not over today, maybe I should finish the show. Okay. Now, here is the full report on where people actually are on this. Because if you listen to, anything on social media, oh my gosh, we all hate each other. Oh my gosh, we are so divided. Oh my gosh, this president, he's more than a Nazi. He's more than a Nazi. He's worse than Hitler. And everybody is against it. Okay, here are the questions. What is your opinion of President Trump's position that Iran must be prevented from developing a nuclear weapon by any means necessary? Any means necessary. No opinion, 2.7. Now, that is stunning to me. That only 2.7, only 3% are like, I don't know. That's amazing. In America today, I would think that would be 79%. I don't know. What's coming out on Netflix this week? But only 2.7 say, I don't know. Disapprove, 22.9. Approve, again, the question is, Iran must be prevented from developing a nuclear weapon by any means necessary. Approve, 74.4%. Now, Stu, I'm not good at stats like you are, but that doesn't seem close to me. It doesn't seem like we're that divided.
No, it seems like there's a lot of agreement. That doesn't seem, I feel like if you're following like online communities, you might not have that same impression. I feel like
I don't know.
No,
I don't know. It felt that close to me. Okay, now the Party participation in this poll, 37.7% Democrat, 38.1% Republican. No party or other party, 24.2%. All right. Now, that doesn't seem close. That seems like maybe it's a good thing. One other piece of news. Did you hear the supreme leader over in Iran, what he said? He said, if we do anything more, there's going to be hell to pay, and it's going to be irreparable. And you should listen to him, because on their TV, their state-run TV over there, they're telling the truth. Our media, not telling the truth. Their media, telling the truth. They have complete control of the skies over Israel right now. Israel can't move. They're boxed in. They're about ready to collapse. And the Israeli babies are all lying in the streets on fire right now because of all of the bombs. And they're going to do it to America, because they're about to win, according to their state-run media. They're about to win in Iran. I mean, in Israel, because they're about to give up. Israel's about to give up. They've learned their lesson. And they're about to move on to us, and we should be very, very careful. Now, meanwhile, this incredible state, I mean, they are really, really doing a good job at really everything. Now, except for their TV broadcast, which was hacked several times yesterday. It was hacked with pictures and calls for the public to rise up and take to the streets to protest against the government. Now, when I hear that, I immediately know the truth. Jews. The Jews did it. The opposition linked Iran International quotes officials as saying it only affected those receiving the broadcast via satellite, suggesting interference with satellite signals. So, in other words, they're TV broadcast stations, because we all have rabbit ears on our TVs now. You know, if you're getting it right directly from the stick, right from the TV antenna. You know, they can't hack that. They can't hack that. Just satellite and, things like that. And nobody's using satellite. Hackers reportedly breached Iranian TV, airing a call for people to take to the streets. So that's good. Now, we have one more poll for you. A survey conducted by the Neapolitan News Service, which is, well, when I was a kid, was my favorite kind of ice cream, but I digress. They just shared with Just the News, found that 77% of respondents believe nuclear weapons should pose a threat to Americans. 45% claimed it posed a very serious threat to Americans. 32% say it posed a somewhat serious threat. A total of 14% said it would not pose a serious threat if Iran acquired nuclear weapons. And 9%, this is more like us, 9%, I don't know. Hey, your poll service named Neapolitan, you make that ice cream too? Total of 14% said it would not pose a serious threat if Iran acquired nuclear weapons. The poll also found a majority believed Iran getting nuclear weapons should pose a serious threat to Israel. 43% Americans should support Israel, while only 8% of, I'm going to air quote it, Americans said that we should support Iran. 1/3 of respondents, 31%, said the U.S. should not support either country. 17%, I don't know, I just want some of that ice cream, please. All right, back in just a minute with more. First, let me tell you a little bit about a legacy box. Time moves quietly. You don't notice it first. The kids get taller. The tape labels begin to fade. The old VCR gets boxed up and forgotten, and then one day you realize, well, there's a whole chunk of your family's history sitting in a closet, slowly breaking down. Videotapes, film reels, printed photos from a camera that hasn't worked in 20, 25 years. You kept them because they meant something, because they were worth saving. But recognizing this is not saving them. You've got to recognize that they are fading, and soon they will be gone. This is where Legacy Box comes in. And they make it really, really easy. You can send for the Legacy Box, but you don't have to send it in right away. You can send it whenever you want. They make it really easy to digitize your family members, your memories. Every tape, wow, I just thought of something. Wouldn't it be great if you could digitize your family members? That's fantastic. Anyway, every picture, every sound, and preserve them in a way that lasts. You just send in the box, they do the rest. Professional digitizing handled with care, sent back to you on a thumb drive, DVD, or the cloud, and you get all the originals back just as they were. These are all part of your story. Don't let your family story fade away in outdated formats. Preserve it, share it, pass it on. Go to legacybox.com/records for 50% off today. That's legacybox.com/records. 10 seconds, station ID. Jason, before I let you go here, is there anything that we need to know that's new or that happened overnight that is worth reporting on?
There was a strike on an Israeli hospital yesterday in Beersheba, which was pretty bad. Iran's doing this strategy of basically firing off hundreds of dumb missiles, but they have a few very, very smart weapons that are getting through. So
those hypersonic missiles are scary as hell.
There's no way to stop them,
right?
And especially in an array. Like, have you seen the skies over Iran? It looks like, what was that game we played as kids? That Missile Command.
Yeah.
Where you just blow them up as they come down. That's what it looks like over Iran right now. It's scary.
You mean Israel?
And Israel, yeah.
Yeah. The hypersonic missiles. Are they hypersonic just at the end, or is that the way it looks when they're coming down towards the ground?
So that's the debate if they're true hypersonic missiles, but I think
Okay.
they're reaching hypersonic speeds towards the end.
Because it's amazing. They seem to be coming in like everything else, and then all of a sudden, whoosh,
Doom. Yeah.
It's
crazy.
War. I mean, if this is what Iran can do,
Glenn,
war is going to be so just horrifying.
Changing rapidly, and I fear we're not ready for it.
We might not be, but I will tell you, I mean, at least, this is one thing that I know about Donald Trump, and I've said it a million times, and I think it's worth really understanding the gravity of this. He has talked to me several times, and he has talked to me about nuclear war, and he rebuilt our missile and all of our nuclear deterrence, and he is terrified of it.
Yeah.
He's like, I rebuilt it, so we are the strongest in the world. He's like, Glenn, if we ever launch any of this stuff, if we ever have to do anything, he said the whole thing is over. It is a nightmare that no one can comprehend.
Yeah, it's scary, but nothing can really mess with my mood right now, because yesterday I saw on radio the most gangster move ever by a broadcaster as you were reading your live read, and slowly loaded your 9mm pistol and put it. It didn't even break any kind of context. Just kept going. It was amazing.
What show did I miss?
Nothing can bring me down now.
You missed a show yesterday. I was in a mood, and I nobody knew until just now. I was also loading all of my pistols at the same time. Yeah, I can multitask. I can do it. All right, Jason, thank you so much. Good to have you back, Stu. We have more in just a second. Alan Dershowitz is joining us, and more.
This is Glenn Beck.
Okay, so Israel is at war, and while they're winning, and while the world argues about politics surrounding the war, there are families in that country trying just to stay alive. They need food, medicine, and shelter. And that's why the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews is on the ground right now, meeting those needs in real time. They're delivering hot meals, stocking emergency shelters, getting first aid and basic supplies to the people caught between the lines. But they can't do it without you. This isn't a someday problem. This is a right now problem. And that means people like you and me have to choose to step in, to lift up, to be the answer to someone else's prayer. Every dollar you give goes to real aid, real people, real lives on the line. Israel is fighting for its future, so let's stand with him, not just in words, but in action. Support the fellowship and be part of something that actually helps. Now is the time to stand with Israel's most vulnerable. Rush your gift now. Call 888-488-IFCJ, 888-488-IFCJ, or go online to ifcj.org, ifcj.org. Call 888-488-IFCJ. Do it now.
Get every story we talk about every day as part of the Glenn Beck email newsletter. It's free. Sign up now at glennbeck.com.
You know, it's been a crazy week, Stu. You missed out on some great arguments, really.
Really?
People just ripping each other apart. Friends ripping friends apart. And I've never seen anything like it on our side, and it's got to stop. It really has to stop. You were on vacation, so you usually don't pay much attention. Did you see any of this, or you miss it all?
I felt like, first of all, an incredibly well-timed vacation. I can't even describe how good I felt about the timing of that. But yes, I did follow it a little bit. I saw a lot of the back and forth. I don't know how you feel about it, Glenn. It just seems to me to be the opposite of productive. I just don't get it at all. I don't get it.
No, when we all start turning on each other, no, our enemies don't love that.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't be in Russia or China and Iran and do anything more helpful than get all of us to start tearing each other apart on the same side.
Yeah, it's like as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, if the Eagles make a trade and you're not sure how to feel about it, one way to decipher that is to see how Cowboys fans react to it. If they love the trade, yes, it sucks for your side.
Right.
And that's kind of how I feel with this. Like, how does everybody on the left feel about this? Are they gosh, angry about it, or are they really excited that the right seems to be trying to set itself on fire? I think they're excited about it. So I would argue it's not the most productive activity.
Yeah, I had Sean Davis on yesterday from the Federalist, and he was just great. He was great. If you missed that in the podcast, make sure you get yesterday's podcast and listen to it, because we don't agree on everything, but tried to have a decent conversation, and that is hard to do. I mean, I didn't necessarily have a decent conversation yesterday at the beginning of the program. It was a little shameful.
Wow, shameful? Is that
yeah, a little bit. And I might say that when my producers brought up today, Glenn, you really have to talk about our federal government selling off 3 million acres of land for affordable housing. I might have been a little shameful there as well. I mean, I'm not a perfect guy, and I'm going to try to not be shameful. In my response on the federal land today. But I will tell you that might be beyond my abilities today. I am so unbelievably tired of hearing about how we're not going to be able to hunt or fish because Mike Lee wants to sell 3 million acres of federal land.
Oh, no. That really, Glenn? I can't believe that. Why would he want to do such a thing? He doesn't like hunting and fishing?
Yeah, well, I do have the reasons, and I'm going to get into that in a little bit on the program, because if I have to go into it right now, I need to really prepare. Because I may have vented for about 20 minutes in a very unproductive way in our meeting today, because I live surrounded by federal land. And, oh, my gosh, they're such good stewards of land. There's nobody better than the federal government. No, when something's going wrong, I can just call Washington, D.C. up and go, hey, this is really bad for the land. And they're right on it. They're the best landlords ever. But we'll get into that. Meanwhile, Whoopi Goldberg had something interesting to say yesterday. She was on The View, and that's a TV show. TV. That is a box that sometimes hangs on a wall, and it's from a network. It's an old-style thing where people used to tell people what to say in their TV shows unless you were on the left. Anyway, it's too much. And she's on this TV show, and she was saying that black people are treated badly here in America. Now listen to what she says.
Just remember, too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
Where the Iranian regime is
as official policy?
They used
compared to the
just
United
keep
States.
hanging black people. So
It is not even the same. I couldn't step
Oh,
foot
no.
wearing this outfit
Wait.
in
That's
Iran
not what
right
you
now.
mean to say. It is the same.
No, it's not. The year 2025 in the United States is nothing like if I step foot wearing this outfit in Tehran right now.
Killed for I'm sorry.
Well, they wear like
listen,
no, I
listen.
can't have my hair showing. I can't wear a skirt. I can't have my
Understood.
arms out.
I'm telling you, as
I literally said it was up to the Iranian people.
Yes.
It is up to them.
And that's why I am saying that it is the same. Murdering someone for their difference is not good, whoever does it.
Wow. What a stance.
What a
powerful.
She is so brave.
Oh,
and
my
so,
gosh.
I mean, for a B or C grade actor in a forgotten movie system, she is really quite bright. When she's like, and we lynched people in America. Yeah, 100 years ago. 100 years ago, that was happening. And it was really, really bad. I don't see the lynching happening. And it was never condoned by the federal government, by the way. That was something that was done. Oh, go on. Hold on, Whoopi. That was done by the Democrats who started the Klan. You can't say that. That's 100 years ago. Wait a minute. You just brought up lynching from 100 years ago. So I guess facts do matter. And then, I mean, can you imagine if that bit were played in any place in the Middle East where women are like under their burqa thinking, I don't want to live like this. This is horrible. And oh, by the way, my husband can rape me anytime he wants. I was married when I was 9, and you have somebody like Whoopi Goldberg going on and going, that's just no worse than it is here in America.
Unreal.
Can you imagine the arrogance of that statement?
I mean, she's literally, again, I know we're mocking this show. She's making millions of dollars. She's a black woman making millions of dollars on television opposing the current president of the United States. Do you think there's a lot of examples in Iran of this sort of behavior? Are there a lot of Jews that have giant television shows they've got in downtown Tehran with their studios making millions of dollars as they carry on the networks the programming that opposes the Ayatollah? Is there an equivalent? It's so inherently stupid. It's just amazing how dumb you can be and have a show like this.
And honestly, if we were in a just society, I would have arrested her just for her stupid haircut.
I will say that's offensive, Glenn, but not as offensive as your claim that she might be a B or C level actress. No,
I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt.
That's way too kind.
I just try to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Shut up. Okay, can we focus on one other thing too? I think is interesting about this development. The opposition in that clip comes from Melissa Farah, whatever her name is. She was, and I think there's such a fascinating journey of this type of person who, was a complete unknown. She was a communications official in the Trump White House back in the day, and kind of turned into this like, oh, well, I'm notable now because I'm turning against Trump after leaving, right? Mm-hmm. And there's like a whole like genre of people who've gone through this process, and whatever. It seems to be very rewarding for them when it comes to their media careers, and they do very, very well. And they make lots of money. And there's absolutely no way that without turning on Donald Trump and becoming this anti-Trump figure, that she would have this job. There's zero chance of it, right? Like
zero.
She's an absolute no one. No one had ever heard of her. Like she was a no one, but she became famous because of this one thing. And there's this interesting thing that happens because you assume the fact that she at one point did serve, in the Trump administration, that she had some familiarity with, I don't know, the right side of an argument or the conservative side of the argument, or like just the fact that Iran is a danger or whatever. She was, involved in defense. And then she's forced to go on here and do this show where every day her job is to say, basically, look, I served in the Trump administration. I'm obviously not a liberal, but I can't believe what they're doing. It's so bad. Like, that's her job. And then something like this happens that is so overtly wrong, that something that she obviously knows is a lie, and she has to make that decision on, like, do I go with the truth here, or do I do this thing that I've been doing, right? Like, and it's got to be perplexing to make these decisions, because at some point there is a level where you just inherently can't say the words to go along with the party line that you're supposed to take these days. And this is one of those instances where, like, no, it's obviously not as bad for black people in America today as it is for gay people in Iran. Like, it's just so overtly false that you can't even stop yourself. And I find it interesting where they kind of find that line.
How dare you say that? Do we try to give black people the opportunity to learn how to fly by throwing them off of buildings?
No, we don't.
I mean,
You're
look
right.
at what the good Iranians are doing. They're like, I think these gays can fly. And one of them will be able to do it. And then once one of them does it, they'll all be able to spread their wings and fly, baby, fly.
That's true.
That's all they're doing, Stu. That's all they're doing.
I had taken
and
that
yet
as a
here
negative.
In America, we don't give black people or gays the chance to fly.
I guess they just believe in them so much.
They're so much better than us. They can fly. That's what the Quran is actually saying. Give them a chance to fly. All right, back in just a second. Let me tell you about Rough Greens. Dogs don't always show you when something is missing. They don't tell you that they've been feeling a little slow lately, or their stomach's been off for weeks, or that their food, no matter how much they love it, just isn't giving them what they need. Here's the thing. Most commercial dog foods, even the premium ones, are cooked at temperatures that strip out all the nutrients. And that's why you should get Rough Greens. It's not a dog food. It's a supplement that you sprinkle on top, loaded with vitamins, minerals, probiotics, digestive enzymes, and all the good stuff that helps your dog thrive. You won't believe the difference until you see it. Better digestion, more energy, shinier coat, brighter eyes. It's like somebody wound the clock back a few years. If you love your dog, and I know you do, this is one of the easiest, most impactful changes that you can make. It's Rough Greens, because a healthy dog is a happy dog. Call them now at 214-ROUGH-DOG, 214-RUFF-DOG, or go to roughgreens.com. Use the discount code BECK at ruffgreens.com. Discount code BECK, or call 214-ROUGH-DOG. Rough Greens, a healthy change for your changing dog.
You know, truth makes the left so mad. And right about now, they're all losing their minds. We must be doing something right. Stick around. Beck will continue right after this.
Some coffee tastes basically like you've dropped a melting tire into a vat of water and just kind of hope for the best. If you've had that sort of coffee, you probably don't want to repeat that experience. Let me give you a way to go around that. Blackout coffee. This is rich, bold, smooth, and balanced. It's the kind of flavor that you don't have to like get used to or dilute with a gallon of creamer. They have dark roasts that bring out the depth without the bitterness. They've got medium blends that are nuanced enough to keep your taste buds interested, and even their flavor-enhanced coffees. They are helping the coffee along and not overpowering it. It's not just good coffee. It's coffee that actually stands for something as well. Blackout Coffee is a family-owned company that roasts everything right here in the United States. If you're pressed for time, they thought of that too. They got the instant coffee packs that are really quick for you, but don't taste phony. They've got the cold brew cans. Got one right here, actually. Cold brew can. Just pop it as you're walking out the door. Nice and easy. No compromise on taste. No overpriced stops on the way to work. Just do it the right way, right? Thousands of 5-star reviews say the same thing. This is coffee that you can count on for the flavor, for the consistency, and for the principle behind the product. Go to blackoutcoffee.com, blackoutcoffee.com/Blaze, and use the promo code BLAZE. You'll get 20% off your first order right now. It's blackoutcoffee.com/Blaze. Promo code is BLAZE, blackoutcoffee.com/Blaze, promo code BLAZE.
Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. It's Thursday, which means tomorrow is Friday, thank God.
Yes.
And Stu is back with us. Hi, Stu.
Hey, Glenn, did you follow the Adriana Smith story in Georgia over the past?
I can't hear Stu. You're feeding me his microphone.
Yeah, I'll go through the story here as we're waiting for Glenn's technical issues to be sorted out. But Adriana Smith, she was a woman in Georgia, and she became brain dead, which is, of course, awful outcome. She was pregnant at the time, and there was a big controversy that kind of built up over this period where she had the left seemed to be cheering for the baby to also die. The claim was basically the hospital was keeping her alive on life support as she was going through this pregnancy. She had basically no hope, unfortunately, of surviving. But the question was whether they would keep her alive on life support so that the baby could be born. And
which is what you usually do.
I would think so, right?
Yes.
Now, the claim was there was a worry by the hospital that they thought the Georgia abortion law made it so they had to do this. This was required. Now, that is, at the very least, seemingly a misreading of the law. I don't think it does require that. But the family at the beginning seemed to be just horrified that they would force this woman to just be this empty vessel just to create this child. And the left embraced this sort of Handmaid's Tale narrative where we just now have women are just baby machines, baby factories that are just churning out these kids, and it's like, this is, by the way, the baby was born by cesarean. This is the end of the story. Born by cesarean, looks like it's going to survive. She was taken off of life support after this happened. But is there any other way for a rational society to look at this other than a miracle? This in every other part of our entire world history, this baby would have just died along with his mother. And now we have a situation where this baby has been born and has a chance at life.
Has a carbon footprint.
And has a carbon.
Thanks a lot,
yes,
Stu.
Damn straight. A wonderful carbon footprint that will be absolutely worth it. The fact that this child gets a chance at life should be something that we're all cheering for. An incredible development that has only very recently been possible. And instead, it is this thing where the left is saying one death, we wanted two. I just can't understand the world sometimes.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, listen to you. Yesterday, the Supreme Court, after they said, oh, you can't kill your children, now they come out and say, you can't mutilate them either.
They didn't say either of those things,
and you're jumping on the bandwagon.
They didn't say you can't kill your children, unfortunately. And they also didn't say you can't mutilate them either. They just had slight allowances for state laws to dictate some of those policies.
That's unbelievable.
So, yes, I support those rulings.
It's amazing. No killing kids, no cutting them.
No, you just got to travel a little.
No turning them into
travel.
She-men. This is what are we coming to? And then forcing a woman in a coma to carry the child because she really cares. She really cares. Carrying that child to term. We're monsters. They have it better in Iran, I'll tell you that right now.
This is Glenn Beck.